The final piece of this already historic puzzle comes together in just a matter of minutes as the UNF Ospreys will find out what region they'll play in, which team they'll face, what day and what time they'll tip off in the NCAA tournament for the first time in the school's history. Tonight, you'll get all of the emotion and reaction from Selection Sunday here at UNF as it happens. Plus, despite playing with a heavy heart, Dallas Moore persevered like a champion. We're taking you to the heart of the game with the story of how Moore shined despite losing a loved one. Also, they say behind every good man, there's a great woman. You'll meet Carrie Driscoll. You're watching a Selection Sunday edition of Matt. Just a few moments ago, yeah, you heard it, the UNF Ospreys will be taking on Robert Morris in the play-in game, with the winner taking on Duke from the South region in the second round of the NCAA tournament. Hello, everybody. Chris Porter here live on the south side of Jacksonville on the beautiful campus of UNF. We're in Osprey Plaza, a big crowd on hand for yet another historic piece in this already historic chapter of UNF basketball. Now, folks, take a look for yourself, a live look at the atmosphere. You've got players, you've got fans, you've got alumni, administrators, folks who all of a sudden have become UNF basketball fans, but that is quite all right. Let's take a look and help you to really see how this whole NCAA tournament bracket is set up and breaks down. The NCAA tournament tips off March 17th and 18th in Dayton, Ohio, with the play-in round, where 8 teams will play for the final 4 spots in the field of 64. Seattle, Portland, Omaha, Columbus, Louisville, Pittsburgh, Charlotte, and Jacksonville will host rounds 2 and 3 of the tournament, March 19th through the 22nd. Each city will host 2 rounds of games, and the field will be trimmed from 64 to the final 16, which will advance to the regionals. The regionals take place in Los Angeles, Houston, Cleveland, and Syracuse March 26th through the 29th, and the 16-team field will be cut from 16 to 4. The Final Four takes place in Indianapolis this year. The semifinals will be played Saturday, April 4th, and the national championship game will be played on Monday, April 6th. In this year's NCAA tournament, the #1 overall seed is the Kentucky Wildcats. No surprise there. Villanova is the #1 seed in the East, Duke the #1 seed in the South, Wisconsin #1 seed in the West, and let me say the Kentucky Wildcats are the #1 seed in the Midwest. Joining me now is UNF Athletic Director Lee Moon, a guy who I have been just running around begging. Coach, I got to have you. First and foremost, thank you for joining us. What was your initial reaction when you heard your school's name called?
Well, there's a lot of pride. I'm really excited, but the pride for the kids and what it means to the university, it's just something you can't describe. And it's something we've been working for, and to finally get here to this situation, it's tremendous.
You are a competitor. You love your school. Kind of tell me what the last 7 days have been like here on the campus.
Well, it's been unbelievable. The energy, the focus of the kids, just everything that's going on, it's electric, and it's really creating something not only on campus but in our community. It's just been really, really special.
You have a really, really special coach in Matthew Driscoll. He was telling me when we sat down earlier in the week that he had a tough season a couple of years ago. He was concerned about maybe he and his coaching staff will be let go. You stuck with him. Why?
Well, I reflected back and I told him this. I looked at what happened at Duke with Mike Krzyzewski. In his first 4 years, he didn't have a whole lot of success, and he had to turn the program around. Now, we're building one from ground zero. So I had to be patient, and I felt like, look what happened to Krzyzewski at Duke. And he went to his first postseason in his 6th year, just like us. So that's kind of the model I went by, and that's why I did what we did, and it's paid off.
Well, I tell you what, if we have half the success that Mike Krzyzewski has had, let me tell you, Coach Driscoll's going to have a dynasty built here.
Hey, we're a hidden jewel. People don't realize what a beautiful place this is, what an unbelievable academic institution we have, and we now have a chance to put ourselves on the map just like a Gonzaga, just like a Butler. It takes time, it takes commitment, it takes energy. Coach Driscoll's got all those. He's got a lot of energy.
Yes, he does. Coach Moon, thank you so much for joining us today. Congratulations on your team's success, and we wish you much much success in the NCAA tournament.
Thank you, Chris. It's a
All right,
pleasure.
hold tight for a second, Coach. Let's get over now to Courtney Jones, who's one of the players. Hey, Courtney.
Hey there, Chris. We're fresh off the news. UNF is going to Dayton, and these guys are happy, especially this guy right here, sophomore guard, Dallas Moore. Give me your initial reaction when you heard who you were going to be facing, finally.
We were just happy to get our name called. We just jumped up and down with joy, put on Snapchat, did all that type of stuff. We're just excited and we can't wait to play.
Did you get any sleep last night?
A little bit. Not really. We just stayed up talking about where we wanted to go and stuff like that, and we're glad that we found out right now.
This is an exciting time for UNF. Just put into words for me, just what's this experience been like so far?
It's been historic, and it's been great to be a part of, not just for our basketball team, but for the school also, and it's just great to be a part of it, like I said, and I can't wait.
You guys have had a week of sort of preparing for a team. You had no idea which team it was going to be. What have you done to stay sharp during this week?
We've just been conditioning. Coach gave us a couple days off, but we've been practicing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in the day just to stay sharp and stay up to what we do, and just look forward to be 1-0 when we go out there and play in Dayton.
Dallas, you're going to the NCAA tournament, man. Give us some excitement here. Is it sunk in?
Yeah, a little bit. It's sunk in a little better since Sunday, and finding out today was just a great feeling. Coach made us jackets. We got this on our jackets, so it's just great.
Good stuff. Congratulations. This guy's a sophomore, and he's already has all that kind of composure. Chris, back to you.
All right, thank you, Courtney. Dallas Moore, they're one of the best players in the Atlantic Sun. In fact, one of the best guards in the country. Now, I know many of you may be saying, to be honest, Chris, I don't know much about UNF basketball. But because we are first for you, we've got you covered. I can tell you this. In 23 seasons of basketball, including this season, this program has been over the 500 mark only 4 times. So here's a look back at Swoop. The University of North Florida opened its doors in 1972. Its first men's basketball team did not begin playing until 20 years later. Construction of the UNF Arena was completed in January of 1993.
All right, let's go, guys. Let's go.
In the 6th season of the program's history, Sidney Green took over as the head coach. The father of former Gator star Torrin Green played at UNLV and in the NBA for 10 years. After 2 seasons with the Ospreys, he moved on to Florida Atlantic. Former JU and Western Kentucky head coach Matt Kilcullen replaced Green and stayed with the program for 10 seasons. He oversaw the transition from Division II to Division I in 2005. That's also when the Ospreys joined the Atlantic Sun Conference.
And understand something very clearly. We are here. Coach Moon has made it clear to win championships.
In 2009, Athletic Director Lee Moon introduced Matthew Driscoll as the 4th head coach in the history of the UNF men's basketball program.
We're here to win championships, and we've told that to the guys from the beginning.
In 6 seasons under Driscoll's leadership, the Ospreys have averaged 16 wins per year. Before this year, 16 wins was the most that UNF had in a single season. This year, they have 23, including a breakthrough win at Purdue this past December to go along with the ASUN regular season and tournament championships. Back live here now at UNF, where tonight we are celebrating the UNF Ospreys marching their way into the tournament, taking on a team by the name of Robert Morris in the play-in game. The winner of this game will face the number 1 seed in the South, the Duke Blue Devils. Now, a few moments ago, we had an opportunity to catch up with Dallas Moore, a guy who has had to play the last week or so with a heavy heart. We take you to the heart of the game with the story of how he's persevered despite having lost a loved one.
Chris's mom actually says I just blacked out like when I got in that zone.
UNF sophomore guard Dallas Moore is talking about his performance against Lipscomb in the Atlantic Sun Conference tournament. He scored a career-high 36 points. But what makes this performance more impressive than any other, Moore did it a day after finding out his uncle Cooney had died. Coach Matthew Driscoll had to tell him the terrible news.
When he said it, I just lost it. I cried in Coach Driscoll's arms.
How did you try and block out what you were feeling and be focused on a game that had so much at stake?
I thought about it all the way up into the game, and I knew I had to set away my feelings to help the team win, and that's what I did, and it was tough.
Moore's uncle came to all of his games when he was growing up. His uncle kept him focused and motivated.
Back in the day when I was little and I wasn't growing, I was like 5'5", freshman year, he would always say, always outwork people. You can't control your height, but you can control everything else.
His uncle's death changed his way of thinking.
Cherish the things you have a lot more because you'll never know when they're gone.
Remembering the man his Uncle Cooney was keeps Moore from allowing his emotions to overwhelm him.
He wouldn't want us to be sad. He wasn't that type of person. He wouldn't want us to be tense. And that's why his lips come. When Coach asked me if I was going to play or anything like that, or when people were asking if I was going to play, I said yeah because he would want me to. And then I just went out there and had to do what I had to do to help the team win. And thank God we got the victory and moved on to the ASUN championship and won that game as well.
As to what his uncle might say if he were here.
He'd probably just give me a big hug and say he was proud of me. He'd probably cry, because that's just the type he was very passionate about everything. And he'd probably make me cry too, but I know he's still watching up there and with a smile on his face, and it makes me smile.
No doubt about it, Dallas Moore is one strong young man. He told me that his uncle died from complications from pneumonia. But again, a very historic day on the campus of UNF. The UNF Ospreys are headed to the NCAA tournament where they will face Robert Morris in the play-in game on Wednesday night. Our coverage here is just getting fired up.
I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's been a great journey.
She's been by Coach Matthew Driscoll's side every step of the way. Tonight, Carrie Driscoll shares her love for her husband and how she helped him cope with depression. You're watching Swoop Madness live from UNF.
Am I talking with you?
You are looking live at Osprey Plaza here on the south side of Jacksonville. Your UNF Ospreys, they are swooping to Dayton, Ohio for one of the play-in games on Wednesday night. They will take on Robert Morris. Oh my goodness, it's just been a fantastic evening here on the campus, and you couldn't have asked for any better weather. Welcome back, my friends. Look who I've got, the man, Coach Driscoll.
I'm sorry, I screwed up your live shot. I'm sorry.
No, you didn't screw up my live shot,
when
baby.
When you're live, it don't matter. You gotta go with the flow.
Exactly, and we thank you so much for going with the flow.
Absolutely.
All right, Coach. A few minutes ago, you heard your team's name called. What was that moment like?
It was surreal in the sense that as a head coach, you're so, like, you want to see your name called because you know that everything you brought here and the vision that you brought here, and you were able to get your assistants and you were able to get your players and your support staff along with the administration to all come together and to culminate with that name being on that board. It sounds crazy. Like, it sounds like, really? Like, seriously?
Right.
But it's just unreal that you just see it up there and you're like, man, not we've made it, but it's come to fruition.
Coach, you and I talked earlier this week, and we haven't run this story yet because we've got many, many more specials to come.
No.
But we talked about a couple of years ago, it wasn't that long, my friend, that you were depressed.
Yeah.
You thought after coming off a losing season, you and your coaching staff were done, and it wasn't because of that, but there was something else you said was tougher. Thinking about maybe having to deliver the news to your coaches that they don't have a job. What was that like?
When we went backwards there, and it was going into our fourth season, going to our fifth, our last year of our contract as well. You always worry about things like that. And do the people think we're good enough? Do the people think we're the staff? And then you match that up with Florida Gulf Coast was getting ready to make that run. Mm-hmm. So now everybody wants to know, why not you? Why them? Why not us? Is he the guy? Well, obviously they got it done. We should get it done. So it's just, as a human being, sometimes we get depressed. And sometimes we unfortunately start having those thoughts in our mind like, maybe can we or should we really? And it was short-lived. Praise God.
Praise God.
But it was what it was. And I really give a lot of credit to Jerry Slocum, the head coach of Youngstown State University. He really put things in perspective and basically said, Coach, control what you can control. Control what you can control. And let everything else in God's hands. Let him handle it.
Gotcha.
And so that's what we did. And we got some ballers.
Yes. With all of that said, my friend, and when you consider it wasn't that long ago that you could have been let go, and then you're here now. Put that in perspective for me.
I've had a lot of friends get let go this week. I know there's a lot of families out there right now that are looking and searching and wondering where we're going to end up, if we're going to end up, what are we going to do next? And I've been there at Clemson when we got let go. And by the grace of God, I ended up meeting Coach Drew. Ended up going to Valparaiso for a short time, then Baylor. But our profession is a tough profession. But it's reality, and I'm not afraid of the reality. Our job is to win. Your job's to get ratings. That's the way life works. And if you win, then things continue to be the way they are.
And then you've got to be very excited because this is a young team. Most of your team is coming back.
We actually have 11 guys coming back.
Yeah.
You know, Jalen Nesbitt's the one senior who plays the most minutes. Devin's had a great last February and March. He's been playing tremendous as our other senior, but we got a bunch of guys sitting out and redshirting, and so we got a lot of really good pieces coming back, but we'll worry about that.
Yep.
We want to be 1-0 on Wednesday night.
Yes.
1-0 Wednesday night.
Well, Coach, congratulations. Best of luck. We're going to follow you every step of the way. And swoop, baby.
Absolutely.
We need you to swoop. The always fun, the always exciting, the always entertaining Matthew Driscoll. Now, I understand that Courtney is with Bo Beach, but Courtney, we want you to go to the story that you have of the woman behind the man, because she has a very, very interesting perspective on supporting Coach Driscoll over the years. Hello, Courtney.
Absolutely. Behind every great man, there's a great woman. Of course, you know that saying. And Carrie Driscoll, Matthew Driscoll's wife, has been there from the beginning to the end. Let's learn more about their love story and how she's been there for him during the darkest points in his life.
I'm from West Virginia. After college, I decided to move to Pittsburgh. I didn't want to be a country girl anymore.
Growing up, Carrie always knew she wanted to see the world.
And so every time we move, I'm like,
be careful what you wish for.
Carrie and Matthew met in Pittsburgh.
Our first date, we went out to a sports bar, and at the end of the date, he gave me his number on the back of, I think, a business card, and said, "The ball's in your court."
Not long after, they married in July of 1993, and since then, Carrie says their lives have been a whirlwind.
That's just the way we've lived.
Driscoll's college coaching career has taken the family everywhere. He started as the head coach at La Roche College. From there, he was an assistant coach at Wyoming, Clemson, Valpo, and Baylor before taking the head coaching job at North Florida. And through it all, Carrie and their two boys have been right by his side.
He said, "You remember when we first came here in our interview and we said, you know, this place is big enough to fill?" And I pulled him back and I just kissed him.
Through the ups and the downs.
There has definitely been some lows where several years ago he was super depressed. That was probably the lowest point. So it makes this high even much better.
She says Coach Driscoll's success hasn't come easy, but she admits it has been worth it.
I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's been a great journey.
Something really cool that a lot of us may not know is Carrie Driscoll was actually on Coach Driscoll's staff when he was the head coach at La Roche College. Live from the UNF Watch Party, Courtney Jones, First Coast Sports, NBC 12, ABC 25.
Thank you, Courtney. No doubt, Coach Carrie Driscoll, who is the cheerleading coach here at UNF, is a very fine woman. All right, the party's just getting started here from Osprey Plaza on the south side of Jacksonville. We are swooping with the Ospreys. They're taking on Robert Morris Wednesday night in the play-in game, with the winner set to take on Duke. Much more when you come on back. Welcome back to UNF. We're in Osprey Plaza. That is a live look. You know, the crowd is thinned out a bit. About 30 minutes ago, Greg Gumbel, he made the announcement that your UNF Ospreys will be taking on Robert Morris in the play-in game on Wednesday night, with the winner set to take on Duke. Welcome back, everybody. Oh, what a great day this is. So fantastic. Being a part of history. Wow. Anyways, the Ospreys have a manager by the name of Brian Wagner. He is a man who truly knows about service and sacrifice. Our Jeannie Blaylock got an opportunity to sit down with him, and she takes us to the heart of the game to share his incredible story.
Hey, folks, this is so funny. Brian Wagner did not want to be a trainer for the basketball team.
I was bummed out because I don't give a damn about basketball. Well, I didn't.
But he was assigned the job because he's a UNF student going into physical therapy. Now, though, he is loving this team.
It was bananas in here.
And he is super swooping.
This is the amputee swoop. Swoop!
Brian has bonded with the guys, and man, they respect him.
Oh, man.
It's just like, wow. Like, you've been through what you've been through, and, you know, you're able to come in here every day and do what you do with no hesitation.
Number 35, Chris Davenport, amazed listening to Brian's story.
How you really don't know, really sometimes, what those guys do for us.
I was in Baghdad, Iraq in 2007.
An IED blew up his Humvee.
My team leader asked, if everybody's all right, and apparently in a really calm demeanor, I was like, no, I think I lost my leg.
And then he passed out. Doesn't remember any of this, but his leg bones here, just gone. But I'm sure I was going to write something about your losing your leg, and you don't want me to say that.
Yeah, I don't like the term, I lost my leg, because I feel like that means that I failed or I did something wrong. I like to say that I gave my leg so the guys I was with didn't have to.
That kind of sacrifice, that gutted out for others, is one good reason Coach Driscoll asked Brian to share his story with the team.
Life's too short to complain about something small like this.
Now, Brian asked me, please don't make the story just about him. He says he is an above-the-knee single amputee, and he even takes ribbing from other wounded warriors who have it worse.
And they always say, suck it up, paper cut, like, quit whining about it. Yeah.
To most of us, though, amputation is far worse than a paper cut, but you get the point. Brian says the focus is his team.
It was very humbling. I felt really good. I felt proud of my guys.
And as for basketball itself,
I have absolutely changed my mind about basketball. Go Ospreys!
Jeannie Blaylock, First Coast Sports, NBC 12, ABC 25.
You have to love his spirit. Go Ospreys. Now, as you know, since the Ospreys swooped their way into history, they have lit up social media, in particular Twitter and Instagram. For that part of the story, we go to my colleague Chad Kushner, who has been all over it. Hello, Kush.
Hey, Chris, it's been a fun evening here in the First Coast Sports office, and as soon as the news broke within the last half an hour that UNF will play Robert Morris in Dayton, the tweets have been coming in about the Ospreys, and I do know one thing the folks there at UNF are very proud of is that UNF is the only college basketball team, men's college team, from the state of Florida in this year's NCAA tournament. So that's a big deal for them. And two other quick tweets. Hayes Carline, the Jaguars writer from the Times-Union, he's already calling for the upset. UNF 77, Duke 74, and Luke Bowenko, the Jaguar center, he also says UNF over Duke is easy money. That's the story from the First Coast Sports office. Chad Kushner, First Coast Sports, NBC 12, ABC 25.
Thank you, Chad. And Chad Kushner will continue to follow all things on social media throughout the night and have a full report first for you tonight at 11 during Socially Acceptable. Our coverage here at UNF, folks, I'm telling you, it is just getting started. Tonight, I am going to co-anchor Sports Final from right here on campus. We're going to continue all things Ospreys. In fact, we're going to also bring you up to speed on March Madness that will be in Jacksonville next week. A lot of teams will be playing here in the River City, but the big news of the day, the UNF Ospreys will play Robert Morris in the play-in game in Dayton, Ohio on Wednesday night. The time not yet known, but we will be sure to know tonight at 11 o'clock. It has been a whole lot of fun, my friends. Continue to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and at firstcoastnews.com. Until tonight at 11, enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night, everybody.